Implementing agencies are rarely independent. There is rarely this is the same as that happens in decision making or polls in Indonesia. From here we learn that Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Yayin Hasyatin, NPM 1916040108 from Regular B. Public policy and policy issues. Public policy is a series of decisions made by the government to solve problems or realize the goals that people like. Public policy is any decision made by an official who has the authority to overcome a particular problem or the activate and specific goal or in order to implement the product of the decision that has been determined. Public policy has characteristics among others. Every public policy must have a purpose. A public policy does not stand or separated from other policies, but related to various policies in society and is oriented toward the implementation of interpretation and law enforcement. Policy is when the government does not what the government wants or will do. Policy can be negative, prohibited, and can also be in the form of briefing to implement to advocate. The policy is based on the law because it has the authority to force the public to comply with it. Policy issues. A problem is a situation where there is a difference between that's all the and what is actually happening or the difference between hope and reality. Types of policies include procedural problems, substantive problems, distributive problems, regulatory problems, and redistributive problems. Policy issues are manifest are problems that can be felt directly by the community, can be seen directly by the community, and can be understood simply by the community. Talent policy issues are issues that can only be sent by the public or can be sent by the government if an assessment has been carried out. Public policy is made to solve public problems, satisfy public interests. Policy issues in policy formulation are classified into three namely 1. A simple problems, 2. Modernity structural problems, and 3. A complex problems. Formulation of policy issues is the process of testing the conceptualization of alternative to a condition of a problem situation, with formulation include 1. Operational, 2. Functional, 3. Real, 4. Clear, 5. Detail, and 6. Show cause and effect factors. Characteristic of policy issues 1. Interdependent, 2. Dynamic, 3. Subjective. The factors that influence the problem are the framework, the theory of personal interest, of the interest, the group or group, experience, knowledge, and ideology. Policy issues in Indonesia include reform issues, economic problems, regulatory issues, police compliance issues, environmental destruction issues, public service and development service. Problems that exist within an organization solve with policy for its realization. In this policy-making, the importance of the community to be encouraged to participate because the community must understand and feel firsthand the needs and problems that are increasing. If so, it is strongly believed that if the policy is based on actual conditions in the community. The policy will also be well received by the community while having effective abusable power. In solving a problem, there are obstacles encountered due to factors outside the organization, including time and resources that are not individually available, policies that are not based on a strong theoretical basis of the causal relationship between policy and outcome to be active. Causal relationship between policy and result are rarely direct. Implementing agencies are rarely independent. There is rarely a common agreement among actors about policy objectives and how to achieve them. There is rarely one condition of perfect communication and coordination. Public policy and policy issues in the approach of public administration are classified in the political approach. This political approach developed during the New Deal and WW2 through observation made by Paul Appleby. According to Paul Appleby, administration is a political process. This political approach brings an early new look at managerial approach that emphasizes that public administration should look like a political approach evolving from empirical or real observation. The values embedded in the political approach are representation, responsive, and accountability. Public policy and policy issues can be examined in the political approach because in policy making taken by an organization that is governed, or public action and public action itself has a political value that is representation, responsive, and accountability. As we know that in the governance is divided into central and regional governance, where each governance has an institutional that represents the people in the process of policy making or decision making. This political approach makes in the governance unmanageable and costly. This political approach makes the governance unmanageable and costly. Inefficient, but the government must be able to have representation for the diversity of the people. This approach also looks at the governance practice in the working. There will be a race in budgeting where each political group will try to get people's money and its utilization in the form of programs for the community according to its representation, but it is not uncommon for the government to get people's money, not for the programs for its people but for personality. In the decision-making process or a policy, the political approach emphasizes diversity, limited rationality, and public officials have limitations in their decision making. The consequence of this is that public administrators are not free to make policies and rules. The nature of the policy is influenced by the support of the government and opposition parties, rather than considering aspects of effectiveness and scientific analysis. This is the same as what happens in decision-making or policy in Indonesia. From here, we learn that public policy and policy issues can be analyzed with a political approach.
We die for, we live for forever.